past, they're much more comprehensive. And as you mentioned in that one-shot game, they were really close to closing that one out by a big score lead. It was only towards the very end where they let one shot slip back into it, and we had a few murmurs that maybe overtime could be on the cards. But certainly ECSTATIC, given the form they played on a lot of that first map, and we know how much more comprehensive their playbook is on this second. I'm nervous, but at least we should be in store for a good map, whatever happens.
That's what we're after, right? Something a bit close, something a bit competitive from both sides. GamerLegion have got to have known that this would come out, what with them having a permaban, so talk about that preparedness. Maybe they've got a little bit of it. Early flash coming in, going to scare that first player off who was in for the info play. Calls for some rotations across. Double nade at sandbags. Nobody there, though. A lot of nadage, actually. A fair few smokes. Even one remaining for the post plant, you could say, as well. Manx holding on to his. If you note the push coming in here, though. Bomb going to go down. Going to fake it out to buy time away from the grenades, and it's a good read. So, back in he will go to plant. And so far, nobody's died. And then we get that other smoke coming in. The flash through the smoke from the CT side. Ineffective, unfortunately. They will lose two very quickly, and now it is just Era, the only one to have found a frag so far. And there's too many bodies, you know. He gets distracted away by the beautiful backside of Dafu, and will get finished off in the end.
Yes, indeed. This is the, we on Endpoint call this the Movistar pistol. You do a normal A exec, and then you re-smoke connector and explode through and look for the frags, and clearly worked out just as planned there for ECSTATIC. So good stuff for them. 4 spy coming out from GamerLegion, so they're not going against the grain like ECSTATIC might. And there's some round progression on the cards, and before I even finish talking, it looks like the round is set to be over.
Yep. That's how it goes sometimes, mate, you know? You're trying to set up, you're trying to, especially on Vertigo. Ancients may be another one where players meet pretty early. Trying to give it the old, oh, we might, you know, we might see him on the half line, and scout, maybe taking a wide swing. And they're all just dead before you can even really paint a picture, as is part of the job. So, ECSTATIC doing their job, I suppose. Nice and quick about it. Just going to be Isaac. They're still giving a fair amount of respect, right? Because if you can get through this round, and you'd presume the next up against the full eco, without losing anyone, that is so much money. You might be like, come on, there's only one player. Get in there, for goodness sake. But they don't want to lose a rifle. You see Wolfie going for it. He swaps that Mac 10 across. Really being frugal here on that T side. Even picking up extra bits of utility as and where they can. So, hoping to get themselves solidified off of these early rounds, and now the clean pistol conversion as we're seeing. And then just gonna fly through and not worry about money for a while if they keep this going.
Yes, indeed. Looking very disciplined at the moment are ECSTATIC. Clearly telling each other, guys, best case scenario, he's just saving a deagle. Why throw bodies at him? It's not going to make a lot of difference in the second round, so let's just keep all our rifles alive. And that will be 4 of those in the Mac 10 for that T side. And it's only the early stages, but as you kind of set up their economy now, assuming the next is a clean conversion, it's going to be brilliant for ECSTATIC, considering they're already 1 map in the lead and they're on the weaker side of Vertigo. I'm already a little bit nervous from GamerLegion. It's got a long way to go here on map 2. But they've got some work to do.
Right. Let's see then. Early stages, nice and clean. There's a lot more, like you say. Moving into round number 3, ECSTATIC hoping to continue the trend and get another clean one. See the pistols go for, well, I mean, it's even generous to call them that, of course, just the default pistols. For the most part, they will go for some information over on that B side of things. A little bit of aggression, but nothing coming their way. ECSTATIC again, giving a fair amount of respect across. Slowly making their way up. Manx will look to info play this B-bomb site, and he may well go down, but it's just a Mac 10 to lose. If he gets a kill or 2, it starts to pay for itself. And he's also keeping the attention on B, of course.
Bomb yet to be committed. But surely now that Manx has spotted a lot of players, he can tell his teammates, guys, A's got to be lesser defended, and that's what we can see here. Smoke starting to rain over. Players collapsing that direction. Dafu, chance here to be caught out in the open, drop that rifle. But he gets out of dodge just in time, so good stuff from him. Bombs running over towards A, and I guess that double nade was just a kind of kick in the lower regions for GamerLegion on this round, as ECSTATIC looks set to keep a lot of numbers alive and bank up so much cash going into that all-important first rifle.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, just being kind of annoying, aren't they? That they're so rigid, so disciplined, right? I think GamerLegion are like, come on, someone's got to come flying around the corner and just take the fight, you know? Give us a bit of something. We've only got USPs, but not at all. It's been a pretty low-kill game so far. Save in the previous round. 3 saving in this round, looking to keep the money away, right? Again, it's like, oh, they've only got USPs. Why are they doing that? Well, you know, keep some kill bonus away. Don't give them the satisfaction as well. There's always that, the mind game aspect. But ECSTATIC will move up to 3. No real sweat off their brow as yet. GamerLegion hoping, and should definitely be giving them some problems in the next round. And we'll see. We'll see. AWP should be out. What is the plan for GamerLegion, though? They've been very timid so far.
Going to be a little bit of a bonus for the game, for the ECSTATIC squad. As we see that replay of the double nade. 3 Galils, a MAC-10. Hardly the worst of buys, but not ideal. Love to have the AKs out on the Ts. On the T half, but doesn't look like it's going to make a lot of difference in terms of the call. Passive opening from them. Similar stuff to what we saw on Overpass, and it's actually GamerLegion here on ramp. They're thinking about getting a little more aggressive.
Oh, nice nade. They do some decent damage to Bird from Sky, who's this info player on the MAC-10 at the moment. Fasher watching. Trying to see him, you know, get nice and close to your monitor, but unfortunately couldn't spot him out, and he gets one tapped through. Not going to take him down, though, of course. Just a fair chunk of damage, and he has to sacrifice his AK. Pick up the Galil. So, again, very proddy and pokey like it was on Overpass in the early stages. No real commits as yet.
Heavy mid stack coming out from GamerLegion. And it's only now that they're getting the information. It's Rusty's pushing in towards ladder, and with all 5 ECSTATIC players here committed, GM finds one. There's damage onto Bird from Sky, but it's this flank that's really going to decide the round as Rusty comes in from behind. And this timing could be so perfect. Wolfie out wide. Rusty taps the first down, connects with the second, bails out before he can be traded back. And that was the moment of the round. The perfect information play and gets in behind. Great initiative.
Even the flash in from Era as well to just solidify the deal, right? Blinded up the second player to make it easy. And then he moves away, so there's no chance of a trade. Barak, in he goes to finish the round off when he knows it's safe. So, really good stuff. GamerLegion finding the hole, and Rusty plays his part perfectly. But you can see it there, right? Dafu, who was the potential trading player, blinded up. Magic. Absolutely magic. GamerLegion will come away with that first round. But thanks to some very, very clean conversions, as we were touching on numerous times, ECSTATIC straight back in with a perfect buy, and this one better than the last. So GamerLegion, you'd assume it's going to be harder for them, and arguably more important than the previous round. Once you start things rolling, you've got to keep it going, because it takes a lot of effort to start the engine again, as it were.
Mid is open. Mid is totally open here. And Zero could get caught. Oh, he's so lucky he's not full initially there. As ECSTATIC are piling on the pressure, and Wolfie, you remember that from yesterday's Squiv. He knows his angles. And IM falls foul.
Yeah, he's after it, mate. He's after it. Absolutely. You've got to be watching for that. He was doing it a fair bit yesterday as well. He'll teach you the lesson once, and you absolutely need to learn it and maybe even give full control across. We see Era go on high, though. Oh, little broken, but it's difficult to look up at a 90-degree angle. Bird from Sky is going to struggle there and will get taken down. So the answer back comes in from GamerLegion. Era looking for a bit more, and he'll get it. So now they've got themselves the advantage.
Bomb towards A. There's a player on sandbags, actually, Rusty, and he's going to get checked. Such a huge frag as like now gains a lot of space here for ECSTATIC. That molly on towards headshot is going to force Zero back towards heaven as Fasher playing the headshot angle. Around the sandbags, bomb now starting to be planted. The nade's going to do a little bit of chip damage, but it's not going to prevent the bomb. We find ourselves in a 3-on-3 after plant. And it's GamerLegion here with their money close to the edge. Important stuff.
Zero up at headshot. Somebody give me something. There it is, Wolfie. Oh, shot missed, but not able to capitalize. He gets it second time around, and Manx up close will take out Zero. It's all on Era. He picks up Wolfie, but it's not enough. Runs out of ammo and gets caught in the side. ECSTATIC right back in. And you can see this is what I was talking about. We've got a few richer members for GamerLegion, but not everybody on the same financial page. It's going to make the buy into this round if they decide to go for it. Not that great across the board.
Really tricky
Really
buy
tough
decision.
stuff.
It's really tough, this. 3 players could buy, the others can't, and they decide we're going to play the half buy. So, barring any huge mistakes here, ECSTATIC on the course for 5-1 and good cash in the bank as well. This is starting to get out of hand, isn't it? Already on the seed side of Vertigo for GamerLegion.
Yeah, early doors once again, but, you know, ECSTATIC, they have got their claws in. They've got them in massively, and, you know, we have seen where this goes, given the game yesterday. So GamerLegion are going to have to stop this and stop it now. And it's not going to be easy for them, right? Because they have that ever-present money working against them, you know. Big part of the game, of course, and if you watch a lot of Counter-Strike, sure you understand. GamerLegion definitely will be. You have to do the best with what you're given, right? That's kind of a big part of the game, actually, and one of the skills of being at a high level. Make sure that your deagle is proficient. Make sure that you can manage with an MP9. So, we'll see. They should have a comfortable one in the next, though, thanks to this half-buy here, but not really finding anything in these half-buy rounds at all is also kind of dangerous. Yeah, we don't expect them to be winning, but you want a return on your investment. You want to keep the opposition's economy modest, and they're not doing that, right? ECSTATIC, these rounds are free, and cash injection, which is really not good for the T side. They'll just be buying all the time, especially if they're getting the bomb plants, which are pretty common on Vertigo. So, GamerLegion problems are strewn across this CT half right now.
Zero. 5-7 and a dream. Seems most unlikely he's going to get a great deal out of this round, and ECSTATIC, we mentioned it a few times already, their ability to bank economy on these rounds cannot be underestimated. If they're losing a lot of numbers against the pistols, as soon as GamerLegion found that first, they're going to force early ecos and stabilize the cash themselves, but it's been the other side of the coin. Scary stuff. Plenty of rounds to the lesser already, and it's going to take so many in a row here from GamerLegion, especially if ECSTATIC start getting bomb plants and that loss bonus builds up. The likelihood of GamerLegion actually breaking their money on this half is starting to run out already, and we're only 6 rounds in. Needs to be a swift turnaround and some clean rounds here from GamerLegion to stamp their authority back again on Vertigo.
Oh my goodness, Rusty is so deep in. And, yeah, dude, I mean, you need a godlike spawn to go that far, or, of course, the old, what is it, the Batman run boost, is that what you guys call it? But we don't get that out, and he just gets caught in the open. Easy frag coming in, but a great flick from Era. We'll even things back up, 4-on-4 in the early stages.
I think he just tagged Wolfie through the wall, you know. And that was a little bit of a collapse. Dropping the bomb to not make any noise off the map. A little bit cheeky. Very nice. Volley up from Bird from Sky is ECSTATIC is still thinking about fighting for this ramp control, but it's Era on the AWP has pushed down Yellow and he's up close and personal, so if he's called upon, this could be very awkward. But as the bomb at the moment is heading towards mid, it looks like potentially a B split could be the point of call. What is going on here with this AWP exchange? Wolfie comes out on top, and maybe Era, for me, overzealous.
Yeah, I think, you know, you scare him away on that first angle, and I think you have to stop and hold it. You've got the right eye, you've got the win there, in theory. And he just didn't have enough information to go for the swing round the corner, really, and pin Wolfie down. 4-on-3 then in favor of ECSTATIC. 30 seconds remaining to work with it. Going a bit slow. 20 seconds, and Isaac is deep into the stairs. Could get a little weird, but he will get spotted out, and they're far enough away, actually, that I guess he can't hear them clearly. Maybe we've got some comms over that as well that gets in the way, but yeah, caught completely off guard. And that's got to be the round now. These remaining 2 players, miles away from the action. ECSTATIC will get their 6th up. Going to be retrieved, and I think they should get away with the weaponry here, but ECSTATIC just keep this ball rolling, man. They showing no signs of slowing down. Another round that looks dominant.
Yeah, there's no traction at all for GamerLegion, and I suspect they are on maximum loss bonus, so perhaps a buy in the next is possible, but it's not going to be perfect with these 2 players dropping over weapons. One of the players is not going to have full utility or a, an M4 in play. That'll be a difficult call as we get into this following round, but for the moment, there's no stopping ECSTATIC, and you've got to remember, Scriv, they started a long way down on that first map, didn't they? They ground it back and looked so convincing, particularly in those middle stages. Fasher got it over the line, and they haven't missed a beat since they got onto Vertigo, and it's GamerLegion we're looking at and saying it's been a long time in this series since they've looked convincing, and they're running out of time to at least stabilize on the CT side of Vertigo.
GamerLegion looking to do so, right? They've got themselves a timeout here. What do we do? And I mean, if that's not the million-dollar question, not said it for a while, but that's certainly got to be it here, I think, in this series. It is indeed looming over, and you've got a lot to bounce back from. There's the obvious that it is you're a map down, you'll go out if you lose this one, not your map pick, but there's also the fact that it's like we got so damn close, right? And we had so many dodgy T rounds. You just have to forget about all that, and I think they're struggling to do that at the moment. That's something that, top-level teams, it looked like VP earlier on into the Ancient. They struggled to do that after losing their own map pick so damn close. So, we'll see here, man. It wasn't their map pick, but they still lost it pretty close, right? In the 2v5 fashion. So, it does happen. Mental does go boom, and you don't have a lot of time to recover back. Bird from Sky hitting shots like that is going to make it difficult, You can't get your mental improved if you've got no head. Era goes down early, and he's been one of the stronger members for this GamerLegion side.
I am in Ivy. Got to be thinking in the back of his head, we need to try something here. If we sit back and we're passive, surely we're just asking to be executed into. But as of just yet, there's no real aggression from the CT side. There's no stacking a bomb site. There's no information plays. Giving ECSTATIC so much time just to work towards this A bomb site. Not getting a lot of value out of these nades about the information plays in one of the other positions on the map, and it's only now that we can see a repositioning from GamerLegion. There's 2 in towards Ivy. It's a good setup, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough against this many players.
Bird from Sky leading the way. Step made, but again, my guy looks so crisp. I am going to find one. It's so hard from here, though. He does well to get another, to be honest. Really well timed on the peak. Might give his boys a bit of a chance back into it. Molly goes down. Oh, wait. Hold on. 6 seconds. They'll get a smoke onto it just, and going for the more dangerous plant, but there's no one around to spray through the smoke and take him down. For just a second there, you thought maybe they could get away with it. Not going to be the case. It is now just Isaac against 3, locked in. He's got to get past an AWP as well from this angle, so don't really see it happening. Neither does he. If you look at his body language, he's just kind of chilling, hoping something comes his way. It's not going to be the case, and as soon as he takes the face, there it is. Okay, he'll catch Dafu. As Wolfie wasn't watching it, but there's not very much time left, right? And the bomb is so damn open. They're just not peeking. So, that'll be that. He'll move away to save. ECSTATIC getting 7.
Scary stuff. Scary stuff. And in the previous round, they saved 2 guns over that allowed the reinvestment. But this time around, surely not. Surely it's too much for ask for. And after Era went down early, he was on his own. No teammates around to at least even it up. And come the afterplant, just far too many players to deal with. And it's going to indeed be the half buyers. There's seemingly no stopping ECSTATIC for the moment. What do you do from here if you're GamerLegion? Is it going to come down to one of these Deagle rounds and just popping off, clicking heads? Is that what it's going to take to revitalize them? Maybe it will. But it already feels like it could be too little too late on the stronger side of Vertigo. ECSTATIC looking unstoppable right now.
And I mean, you know, they're really kind of across the board having their moments. Manx has quietly crept his way up to 9-1. That's a great opener into this round, though. Rusty trying to fade away around the corner. Not going to happen for him. But a big kill, of course, has come in from Manx. That probably will do it for the round, you would think, given the weaponry that GamerLegion have got. Of course, now that I've said that, 3 1-deegs incoming. Ooh, weird. Spotted. Does find the frag, though. So back into even Stevens.
Ollie on Ivy. Left side smoke. Gonna force these CTs into a more uncomfortable position, but there's still 3 on the bomb site. They're trying to force these one-ways over the smokes. IM finds 1. Make that 2. Zero goes down, but IM not long for this world. Is only Rusty remaining on the bomb site. And if he can find a frag here, this becomes so much more doable. But as the smoke fades, caught out in the open, and for ECSTATIC, that anti-ecos have been so clean. This is by far the messiest for a while. And it all rests on Dafu to prevent the half-buy win. And indeed, it comes in. That saved rifle paying dividends towards the end. And I set it up at the start of the round. If there's any roots back into this game for GamerLegion, it might have to come off a little bit of luck, a little bit of fortune, a little bit of individual plays. And on this round, it was IM. GamerLegion given a lifeline here on the CT side.
Yeah, both IM and Ira, of course. You know, Ira was out on the flank and was a bit annoying, slowed them down a bit, and immediately just gave up that flank and straight back to join the boys and try and work off of the trades. He does a decent job at it. Second round in. Okay. They're as yet to string them together, of course. That first one was also in isolation. And you need to turn it around, right? I think this is what we're saying. When you have the lucky round, can't rely on that moving forwards. Wolfie finds the early kill onto IM. Gets a bit giddy before that smoke goes down. It is a really bad habit that a lot of players have at this level, and IM punished for it.
So here we are again, in a situation where we're looking at GamerLegion and saying, your man down, you need to do something. You need to stack, you need to get aggressive, you need to find some information, and this time, semi-aggressive off angle pays off, but Era aggressing in towards B, it's caught out. So it was an even game, is no longer as ECSTATIC again in the man advantage, and Wolfie spots out him the first time, connects the second, and only 2 players remaining. GamerLegion, from looking a little revitalized with that half-by win, are back in the dumpster, and unless Isaac and Zero can pull off the heroics, given the cash in the bank, an investment in the next might also be out of the question. They're just going to stack B and hope that ECSTATIC go that way. Maybe they will, but they'll rely on fortune to stay in this round.
Once again, right? Manx is going to gather the information here as well. We'll go down, but, you know, 1 player on B, fellas. Your A site looks pretty good. Zero's up on a quick rotation. Bird from Sky. Dry will peek into him. Risky, for sure. However, the smoke goes down, and, well, maybe it was a bit of a bait play to get Zero around the corner. It works, and it's left onto Isaac. Another clutch going to be required here. Trying to spam away. Can't find it, and, of course, won't have the information available on how low some of these players are. I mean, you know, next round you may be going for that half-buy. Might as well give it a shot. He has been spotted now, though. Gonna get a smoke down onto the bomb away from that AWP. Not a lot of time. Needs a kit, really. So he's given up on the retake. Looking to take a few with him, maybe. But again, not even that coming up. So, 8th round for ECSTATIC. Straight back in. It's troublesome, because you're not even going to be on the maximum loss bonus quite yet. So, GamerLegion, yeah, they really do have to start worrying about this.
Another tricky buy call. The good news is that just towards the end there, GamerLegion did pick up the AWP, and given Era's cash in the bank, he can drop 2 rifles, as well as another rifle brought up here by Isaac. So indeed they do invest into it. It's so crucial that they find that AWP towards the end. So there is another buy coming out. The problem is The buy runs, as we've been seeing of late, at least early on in the rounds, have been very lackluster, often losing the opening pick. And even though Era finds the first here, swiftly traded. Bird from Sky, though, feet are toasted on the edge, just about getting out of dodge. Maybe he can trade onto that AWP of Wolfie and try to have some impact. That was a close affair, but I guess, given the HP, we're going to say advantage GamerLegion.
Yeah, just about. I mean, you see Bird from Sky turn around there and see that Molotov start to move forwards. Life clearly flashing before his eyes, and he just froze. Incredibly lucky to be alive. Not going to get the AWP, though. No Bogdan's here, mate. Wolfie wants to keep a hold of it, of course. His preferred weapon, and maybe one of the issues that this guy can have, is that he doesn't have as much rifle ability to be able to swap across. So wanting to stick to the AWP. The Molotov's going in, though. Nice nade as well to dish a bit of damage. And the return utility here from GamerLegion going to keep them away completely, as they will move back towards A, in fact.
Out of position for the moment, GamerLegion. Very passive here on the bomb side. It's just a question of how quickly can ECSTATIC commit up and actually scream it's a ruse. It's a ruse. They just made the noise, trying to pull the rotates. They're still going to end on towards B, and certainly seems like a good move in terms of what it's done to that CT side. They've gone from a lot of numbers in defense to only 2. And the molly on towards quad is perfect. How on earth does Rusty even find one? But with 7 seconds remaining, getting the bomb plant here when Isaac's on the site is going to be so tricky. And Isaac doing work. He's had a tricky map so far, but that round was extremely important. 3 on the board now for GamerLegion.
Retreat and AWP as well. They are certainly closing the gap, you know, between the picking up that one round and letting them string some together. They very quickly get back on themselves. The buy here, saving of the AWP, like you mentioned at the end of the round before that. Really, really important to facilitate the buy. We will have to go deep into the coffers for this one, but looking to keep it rolling and get to a decent scoreline. But yeah, ECSTATIC hitting them with the old double 1-2 classic, and doing a GamerLegion, running out of time. So we'll see, you know, GamerLegion, they've struggled to use these isolated rounds and these bits of luck. Again, they get kind of lucky in that round. They've struggled to use them in their favor. And once again, we see Wolfie opening up, winning the battle against Era.
He starts so many rounds on this side, it's almost a little bit perplexing why people aren't dropping nades onto it. Maybe their preparation is not quite so ideal. Traded back as Manx tries to aggress B, but mid is open. Mid is open. There's nobody covering this position, and Bird from Sky is working up close. Rusty is the player tasked with locking it down, but IM is bailing his teammates out of what would have been a very tricky spot after losing numbers in mid. 2 on 3, but the bomb is dropped all the way in T-spawn. How on earth do you recover it from here?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? They've got a clear B bomb site, but they don't have a bomb. Dafu picking up the pace, trying to get down. He makes an awful lot of noise there. Should get caught. Should be in the operative word. Isaac, unsure. Spinning around, as you see on the X-ray there, just off to the left of your screen. The little tango going down between these two players. Meanwhile, Bird from Sky will get the catch onto IM. Isaac, however, gets the catch. There's only 20 seconds. Molly in a smoke, you know. Good luck. Bird from Sky, no chance he gets through there and then back up the ramp to plant, you know, without meeting some resistance to boot. We'll grab the AWP. Another round going the way of GamerLegion.
Yes, indeed. It will be a buy in the next tier for the T side, but it won't be perfect. Bird from Sky can drop that AWP and collect himself an AK. Fasher as well can buy. Wolfie can drop a gun over. At least somebody's going to be lacking for nades, if not for weaponry as well. As GamerLegion, from being a long way down, have had to fight tooth and nail to break this terrorist money. That alone is a victory, but they, for me, still need some more rounds to have a good shot going into the second, and they've decided we're going to get aggressive here. 4 on A, 2 down this yellow position. Fasher, first might be skill, second is luck, but he'll take that. 2 fast kills, and now GamerLegion man down in such a crucial point of the map. Scary stuff.
Golden play from Fasher. We look to him to be one of the louder members on this team, and so far he's been sat back, not doing much. Maybe he's not had to. Maybe just the way he fits into the team, right? When ECSTATIC have been winning rounds, it's the entries that are clean. When they've been losing them, they get crunched and caught and double, triple sprayed. Fasher doing a bit of double spraying himself. And now the round wide open. Up he goes. Up the boys come behind him. And the rotations are a little late. He's still got one out towards middle. One out towards B, who gets caught with his knife. Doesn't respect how deep they could be. And down goes any semblance of an A defense. It will just be Ira, who is that B anchor for the most part. So, yeah, not looking too good. Not looking too good here as, again, GamerLegion, they can't get enough together to stop ECSTATIC from running away with the half.
Yes, indeed, and GamerLegion may have been chaining rounds together, but they were losing a lot of numbers, and now that's going to be very troublesome. I dare say their loss bonus is not going to be too high, considering they chained a few together. And looking at the money in the bank here for Zero, Rusty, and Isaac, IM's not even too far ahead with 1,500 in the bank. Manx, oh, just about. I'm probably going to slip off there. He survives the bomb plant. And looking at the cash now for GamerLegion, to have to eco this late in the half would just be devastating, and I'm not sure they have a choice.
Yep, it's up a creek time, innit, you know, as we like to say. One day we'll get to say the full phrase. Maybe a broadcaster will let us do that. But not a good time is generally what it means. Era trying, right? Era trying, using some bodies in and around this ramp area. The limited utility that he has. He eats a couple of nades with trouble, though. Swings out and dies. So, gives it his best shot, but it's difficult. It is very difficult, especially when ECSTATIC know that he's going to have to make moves. Let's just play patiently and not get too giddy. In they will go off the back of the M4 drop, though. And now things looking pretty good for them. Bird from Sky left pretty low. Rusty does well to get one with no armor. And Zero will chime in as well. But they've decided there's too many bodies here. Let's hit the A-bomb site. Sorry, the B-bomb site instead.
They need to speed up, because those guns can be recovered on ramp. Important frag. Wasn't armored. So easy pickings, but they're taking it slow. Those guns could be recovered and rotated, but good mid-round calling to recognize the position. And honestly, given that the next round is going to be the 15, economy doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for ECSTATIC. Just win the round. Keeping numbers alive is not a big deal. So even losing a few here, it's a little bit painful, but it shouldn't have a great result on how this next round plays out. I guess the only real benefit here is that the AKs on the CTs, that will help them a little bit in the defense, but ECSTATIC, they'll take it up to 10 rounds here on the T side of Vertigo. They stole away their opponent's map pick, and now they're looking in prime position to 2-0 this series. GamerLegion are a long way down when you factor in the map bias.
Yeah, it keeps going from bad to worse, doesn't it? 11-4, you can maybe work with it, but you got so much pressure on you, I think. Replay's trying to give him a bit of something, but yeah, and you have to think as well. I'd say 2, if not 3 of the rounds that GamerLegion have won have come off the back of some craziness, some luckiness. In comes the flying run boost, though. We love to see it. There it is, Rusty. He tried to get down there a few rounds ago. It didn't work for him. He gets 2, but so does Manx. So, you know, what more can I do? As he channels his inner dazed, I'm sure there, Rusty. Unfortunate. That is the nature of the beast. They go B fast early on. They get the return frags, and now leave GamerLegion guessing.
Putting the brakes on. Are ECSTATIC. You can see how they've slowed down so much here. They had an opportunity there to just try and commit through and force out the site hit, but they've decided instead, we have no interest in that. We're going to let these CTs get aggressive and punish them. That nade should do good damage onto Bird from Sky. He's down to 22 HP. 1 bullet territory from the AK. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. You see the boost coming in. And actually, they've stalled out long enough that these CTs have rotated off. And Zero was the only defender who's having a troublesome game so far, and he needed to connect there, and he can't. Ollie on towards the back of the generator. Going to force Era out of position, and the headshot is found. It's only Manx remaining, actually, as I am again bailing them out on this B-bomb site. Hasn't been his best half, but in terms of getting them up to the 5 rounds, he played a pivotal role.
Love to see it. Could have been massive. He gets unfortunate, you know, the jump there, especially from one of those players, was pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, massive stuff from ECSTATIC throughout. Sporadic rounds, 5 sporadic rounds, it feels like, from the side of GamerLegion. And as mentioned in that last one, and every single time that they're picking them up, pretty much, there's, you know, kind of some randomness to it. And ECSTATIC, maybe the ones making the mistakes, are overextending, giving them a chance back in, I would say, in that last one, kind of overthinking it. Just go for it. You know, you've opened up the B-bomb site. Sure, it's a little early and there might be rotations in, but I think you just have to keep the speed going and catch them a bit panicked and with a lack of utility down to stop you. However, it's a good-looking 10, and 10's pretty solid to work with, especially if they can get the pistol here. And we move on to that CT side where maybe you'd expect them to have a bit more comfort, but we'll see. The quick play coming in from the pistol here. Great flashes round. 1 for 1 so far, but keeping them at a distance is what those USPs want. It will be a 3 versus 2. Rusty and Era have to try and pull it back here. Nice molly. Kill comes off the back of it as well. So the 2-on-2 looks better.
Just a little. Even if the round win doesn't come to fruition, they have to get a plant here, GamerLegion. They have to get a plant to allow the option for a reinvestment in the next and a chance at a reset. If they lose this without a plant, it's probably all she wrote. This GamerLegion will streak ahead economically and certainly round-wise, but made the right decision to hitting B, but the double flank, this is a total matter of timing. Who's going to blink first?
Oh, Rusty's chilling. Nade out. Just gets around, and Era gives it a check. Something's up. Those bullets are not coming from in front of us. They're coming from beside us. He'll find the first, and now Manx's position going to be known. Easier said than done here, but pistols they can all of a sudden turn upside down. They try and double peek into him. He finds the first and is still alive. 34 HP for Era as well. Trying to play headshot angles. Out he goes. Shots being missed on both sides of the occasion, but Manx creeps round to find it. Huge 1 versus 2 clutch coming in, and that is going to continue rubbing it in, man. They get the pistol, and they will keep GamerLegion down at only 5 rounds.
Feels like ECSTATIC can do no wrong. You thought when they missed those first couple of shots on the flank, it was going to be over, but Manx here, such great work. He gets double peaked, somehow survived, and clinical execution towards the end on towards Era. But as I was painting earlier on, the only silver lining here is there was a plant from GamerLegion. They can invest into this one. There are 2 AKs, and if they get the reset in a world where they get the reset, economically it swings right back in their favor. So for me, this is do or die. They have to reset ECSTATIC here, and that is the perfect start.
Bird from Sky, spamming away, not able to find anything, but he spots a bit of information and laying down the presence. Creeping back in. This is risky, man. He will unfortunately not find anything, but it sets up bait play, I guess, in a sense. Staffu picks up Era. So 4 on 4. Back to an even standing. Of course, HP bar's not looking fantastic for the CT side. And they've lost that ramp control, trying to take it back again. Another even trade. Down goes Wolfie, though, untraded. That's the big one. 3 on 2. Mac 10 going to get a bit more. Zero's also tapped out Manx. So all of a sudden, round goes against them. GamerLegion. They'll get the reset.
Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. They needed to win that to have any opportunity to creep back into this one, and indeed they have. ECSTATIC faced with the decision GamerLegion had earlier on. Do we full invest? Do we eco? They've actually chosen to eco this one, and I really question what they're going to do in the following round. They do find an early kill here on this mid-aggression, but much more should be out of the question. So a full save, Scriv. Not something you're going to see a lot of the time. And now a difficult choice. Do you invest into this one? Do you eco again when bizarrely you've already ecoed once? And it looks like a heavy eco out twice in a row. Needless to say, unorthodox, but I guess they set themselves up for a very strong buy in these first few rounds.
Hey, listen, mate, they've been to the school of Scriv, you know? This is... I mentioned it last time we were in a scenario like this. I really want to see some teams experiment with this when you get, you know, force bought on early. That heavy, heavy reset. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And it, you know, maybe catches the GamerLegion side a little unexpected. They've actually managed to find 2 kills here, and that's going to be 2 guns, 2 AKs, mind you, picked up and retrieved. Now, the A bomb site's pretty vulnerable. They're reading into this, getting the util down quick. But they're pretty split on the GamerLegion side as well, right? You play a bit of a headshot angle with the AK, you never know what might happen. Era's on the flank. Will be spotted early. Needs to be traded out. Will indeed do so, but Manx is now the only one left. Caught reloading. Should be dealt with. They do a fair bit of damage, though, considering you're going into a full rifle by now. That road to breaking the bank is not as long as it once was.
Yes, indeed. Good kills, but I'd still say you've handed GamerLegion an easy road economically. Fortunately, those frags keep them a little bit honest, but you look at IM's bank and you're saying,
yeah,
you know, if bomb plants are coming in, this scoreline is a little bit deceiving, to be honest. This is closer than it looks, especially with the money in the bank from GamerLegion, and you know, proof will be in the pudding if saving there was a good idea. Twice in a row is... What on earth just happened with that exchange? Era the flick no scope to find the kill, and ECSTATIC again when the rifles have been out, sealing the entry.
Yeah, by himself as well, just pushing in. Oh my goodness, Rusty. Nearly fallen off there. Started to fall left, but eventually went right. All good. Wolfie's going to pick up IM. There's what Rusty was waiting for, and he does indeed get away with it. So, retaining the advantage, 4 on 3. It's not super clean. It's not super solidified, but GamerLegion, they've got a bit of room to work with. Holding for the flank as well. Era with a good read here. Third from Sky. It's all about the timing. Attack comes in. Push forwards. Wolfie looking good from the conditioning unit. Gets a third for the round. A fourth as well. Where's my ace? Up on a silver platter so far, but Wolfie, he was quiet on map 1. Anything but here, he'll be taken down with a wallbang through the smoke. It's a nice shot in isolation from Era, but he's left by himself, and there is that flank bird from Sky. His patience has paid off massively, but he's read like a book. And now it is just down to Dafu. All the heroics of Wolfie. Will it be enough? Another fake coming in. Dafu not biting, plays it safe. Waits for him to come over, and the shot does land. But Era, mega unlucky, as he will fall. 12 for ECSTATIC, thanks to Wolfie.
What more could Era have done in this situation? And to be honest, Scriv, watching it live and watching it back, if GamerLegion put down just a tiny bit more utility, if there's a generator smoke, if there's good entry flashes, if there's a default molly, honestly, they win that situation. It was too easy for Wolfie. Yes, he played well. Yes, he connected, but GamerLegion should have done better, and you just feel after seeing that ending sequence, if Era had a more even situation, if he had a player to play after plants with a crossfire, he would have got it over the line, and ECSTATIC, for me, definitely handed a lifeline there. It could have been an even game, but now we're looking at GamerLegion's money and saying they're on the edge too. Pivotal round, early trade here towards ramp. 2 make it free for ECSTATIC as all of the players are here. They're getting so aggressive on ramp. And it's just Rusty remaining. No cash in reserve for his team. Lost bonus is right in the doldrums, and ECSTATIC 3 rounds away from making this a 2-0 series.
Fuming. Absolutely fuming, aren't they? That's what that one is. Smacks of the anger. The narrowly losing out, the not being able to deal. Maybe there was meant to be utility there, you could ask. And it didn't land. You know, it didn't meet the mark, and it costs them almost everything in that Wolfie 4K. So, really, really angry, trying to just throw themselves at it and hope that they can catch ECSTATIC sleeping. Not going to be the case. Oh. Rusty's heard, Rusty's seen, and Rusty's dead. So, early kill coming in. It is just the Deagle buy, but it's always nice to find the first.
Yes, indeed. And since ECSTATIC will reset in the second round, it's so difficult to stabilize that economy. You remember we had that stage where we were looking at GamerLegion's cash and saying they got 10k plus on some of these players. It's going to take so many in a row, and they've done it. Now it's GamerLegion themselves on the eco. It's ECSTATIC set to keep so many numbers alive, and it might just be an eco here from GamerLegion, but some frags are going such a long way to making this comeback doable. And if ECSTATIC keep these numbers alive,
ooh,
it could be easy, but at least Era is making it costly. It looks like a small thing, but that is a huge deal if GamerLegion want to run this back to overtime.
I am looking for a bit more. Going to go towards middle here as he scoots up the ladder. We'll have some early resistance in the form of Manx. One more, and it ends up being a costly round, not just a, you know, unwise one. Uh-oh. And maybe, possibly, even a doable one. But unfortunately, even as I think that, Wolfie is set up and ready and will not miss those. So, yeah, it does become a bit difficult. They have to hit 15 sooner rather than later, you know, because the money is going to start to work against them thanks to that 3-kill round coming in for GL.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like only a small thing, but honestly, it's actually a huge blunder in a 5-on-2 to give away 3 kills. And just maybe they'll regret it down the line. But of course, the rifles are in play, and this is what we're really here for. Fasher, aggressive, finds the opening. He's had a quiet series so far, but actually, for me, in terms of impact frags, he's had a lot between these two maps. So he might not be performing overall, but when it matters, opening picks galore. He comes into play, and in this round, already stamping home ECSTATIC authority. And we're looking at GamerLegion saying, how are you going to respond? Fortunately, they do spray through the smoke. Just about goes the way of Fasher. 4-on-3 as ECSTATIC in touching distance now, 15.
We've been getting a little bit lazy, aren't we? You know, they're dropping onto the bridge. I guess you're maybe trying to fake things out. Perhaps it's part of the idea. Actually, might be jumping the gun a bit to sell the fakes. You can see this. Oh, the pushing towards B. Manx claps Isaac. Zero will manage to catch his player that he was waiting for. Probably all round long, but of course there's hardly any bodies to work with. Rusty walking in, hoping he can find something. And now it looks a bit silly because he's left the bomb, I would assume, for Zero to go and pick it up. So even if he does find something, he's got a double back. He's only got 30 seconds. I don't think we're going to get that reality. Wolfie does miss out on the shot. Going to give it a second attempt here in just a moment. Trying to buy time. Trying to get some assistance, please, because this is a pretty tough angle for me to get through. Smoke comes in. Wolfie running away, you know. Spray's there. Nade is there, and there's 15. So they get it done. That degree of inevitability looming over, and GamerLegion just not able to break through the ceiling.
Yeah, not to mention opportunity to win the round. Not having the bomb there and not securing an easy bomb plant. That essentially screws them out of a doable buy here. It's going to be Galils at best. Maybe SMGs in play, maybe Tech 9s. As we see here, 1 AK, 1 Galil, lacking for utility on those players, and Mac 10s on the others to try and at least have some nades, and they're just fully sending it here out mid. Wolfie finds the first posted up in connector, jumping out. They fall to the flames. Dafu finds another, and this is looking real desperate here in the closing stages. Only 2 frags to find to close it out. Coming through the smoke, they get 3 apiece. What a roller coaster this round has been, and it's going to come down to the 2-on-2.
It's what GL are after, create a little bit of chaos to get it going. I suppose there is that, you know, quote, chaos is a ladder. Maybe that's where the thinking comes from in this round.
All right, let's focus up. Let's focus up. It's an important moment. Smoke in play for Dafu. Where is that going to be put? Go on the bomb. He's going to put it on towards the crane. He's going to hit the bomb. So we could have some antics here as the stick tries to come in. A bit of a tap. And now the sprays come back through. About 10 seconds remaining now. The bomb, the stick soonest to come in is Dafu is on it. And both the kills come in. ECSTATIC are going to close it out. 16-8 on their map pick after a grueling first map where they just about edged it. Overall, a much stronger performance than what we saw yesterday. And it feels great to see ECSTATIC back in form.
Yeah, and you know, we have to say on the other side of the coin, it's GamerLegion. They insta-relegate, you know, after losing this game.